Good morning, Kasturians, and welcome to video 1 of chapter The Expansion of British Power. In this video, we will see how the expanding trade led to formation of trading companies and how the East India Company it entered into India. So let's start. As you know, trade is sale and purchase of commodities, sale of those things which we have in surplus or which we have in enough, and purchase of those things which we don't have or which we are falling short of. Earlier it was exchange of goods between two persons, but later on this exchange of goods was replaced by money, and with the invention of money the trade expanded, and later on, due to developmental processes and due to scientific developments, machineries, when they are put to use to produce goods, merchants came up, and these traders and merchants, they started expanding their trading activities, first within their country, and later on when the markets they became saturated for their products, they started looking for markets across the countries. And this is how trading activities by traders and merchants took place. And from the history we can see the traders and merchants basically from two continents, that is from Europe and Asia, they used to come to our country, and they used to frequently trade in certain items like spices, the prominent ones being pepper, clove, cardamom, cinnamon, then cotton, silk, indigo, and saltpeter. These were the basic items which were traded. So when uh, we see in Europe the industrial revolution took place, so due to this industrial revolution the goods were started producing at a much faster rate, and for producing goods at a much faster rate raw material was also required. On the other hand, a problem also rose up, that how to consume, how to find consumer for such large number of goods which are being produced in those factories or machine industries. That's why the merchants in the very beginning they were trading individually. It was individual trade. Later on the traders they joined hands and collectively they formed trading companies. As in Europe, Britain was the first country where the industrial revolution took place, so in England the traders they started demanding for rights to go and trade in other countries. That's why Queen Elizabeth I, she gave a charter to the British trading companies to go and trade in different directions. So the trading company that got permission as per the charter issued by Queen Elizabeth to trade in the East was known as, or it came to be known as, the East India Company or English East India Company, or sometimes it is also referred to as the British East India Company. The charter is basically an exclusive, it's an agreement or it's an order, not an agreement, it's an order that provides exclusive rights to the person or the institution under whose name it has been issued. So from 17th century onwards European companies, especially from countries like Portugal, Holland, England, France, and Denmark, they started coming to India for trading. Now, when the volume of trade expands, there is also a need to keep the goods in a safer condition at a safer place. For that, the British East India Company and the Portuguese, they got permission from the then ruling Mughal dynasty ruler Jahangir to build forts, and these forts came to be known as factories. Now, don't get confused that factories nowadays are the units in which production of goods takes place by the use of machinery and manpower. But in those times, these British factories or European factories or the trading factories were the premises in which the officials of the companies used to live. Also, the offices of these officials were situated and the godowns for keeping the goods in safe custody were there. So these factories were actually a large premises which was fortified, and these British officials who used to serve in these factories, they were known as factors. That's why these premises were termed as factories. These factories also were having, apart from offices, these were having official quarters or residential quarters of the merchants and traders who used to come for trade. You can see here the picture, that is the Fort William, which is in Calcutta. It was the base for English East India Company. It was a fortified factory. In the very beginning, factories were simple premises, but later on these factories were fortified. Now, when one more than one person or more than two persons, they are engaged in the same field, it creates competition. And when money, it is related to money, it creates further, the competition becomes stiff. And when the force is used to be in competition, it becomes a rivalry, and this is how trade rivalry started. Basically, as I told you, that the companies from Portugal, Holland, England, France, and Denmark, they entered into Indian soil for trading. Due to this, the competition started, and the goods which were traded were only a few. Like I mentioned also, that in within spices, prominently pepper, clove, cardamom, cinnamon were traded. And apart from spices, cotton, silk, indigo, saltpeter, and other important things were the trading items, but these were the prominent trading items. Now, number of buyers increasing and number of sellers remaining same, it started creating stiff competition, and a rivalry started between these trading companies. All were looking at India as a market from where they can purchase goods at low price and they can sell at higher prices in their country and make enormous profits. But with the increasing competition, what happened? The prices which they quoted for same things, they were increasing. That's why the profits of the companies got affected. Then these companies, they started thinking to control the entire trade, and for this they started keeping armed forces with them. And this is how trade rivalry started, and it all resulted in fighting of wars. The only way for increasing the profits for these companies was to ensure a trade monopoly. Now, monopoly is what? Monopoly means when one person or company gets whole soul control over the trade. So they can, since they are the only one, they can charge any price from the buyer, and this is how they can make enormous profit. When this idea of monopoly entered into the trade rivalry, the company which was involved in trade, they started asking support from their governments, and they started keeping and building their own armies. Out of the Portuguese, Holland, England, France, and Denmark, the Portuguese, the Dutch, and the Danes, they were ousted from the Indian trade. Only the two main rivals, that is the French and the English, they became the key players, and this is how the rivalry between these two increased, and this resulted in the wars between English and French trading companies, and these wars came to be known as the Carnatic Wars. Why? Because these wars were fought in the present date Tamil Nadu region. That's why these wars came to be known as the Carnatic Wars. In these wars, the English and the French, they clashed thrice, and these wars continued for around 20 years. Ultimately, the French trading companies were ousted by the British. The British became victorious, and in this way, the British was going to be the monopolistic trader who has total control over India's trade. And then, from traders, when they saw the unstable political conditions in India, it paved their way to become the overall administrator of entire India. This we will study in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.